On a small tropical island, the rain came fast and left even faster. In just a blink, the dark clouds disappeared, and the sun returned, shining bright once more. The cast, who had been huddled together against the downpour, rushed out to soak in the sun, trying to dry their drenched clothes as quickly as possible. After thanking Jiang Feixian, Li Mi returned to the group. From that moment on, she began keeping her distance from Trần Ngôn. While there may have been reasonable explanations for what had just happened, no one wanted to be linked with Trần Ngôn already tarnished reputation. Trần Ngôn sighed as he looked at the tattered umbrella in his hands. With a helpless smile, he muttered, "Looks like we're the same, huh? Used and thrown away." From the bullet chat of the live stream, someone commented with sympathy, "Poor Trần Ngôn. He helped keep them dry and still got snubbed." Others disagreed. Sympathizing with a creep? Seriously? This has to be scripted. They're trying to ruin my Hian Haiyan and Mimi's image. Meanwhile, Wang Lui gathered the cast back together. Having failed to uphold his leadership role during the storm, he tried to reassert control. "That was just a hiccup," he declared. "Our next mission is to find survival tools, especially something to help with the rain. We can't be caught off guard again." Hua Zhaodian snapped, "Tools? Where's the film crew? I'm starving." Suddenly, Trần Ngôn heard something. "Listen up." He pointed to the sky. Everyone looked up. 2 planes were flying across the clear blue sky. "Finally, the production team is here," Loc Dung laughed. "They're late. I'm going to have a word with them," Wang Lui grumbled. Everyone complained. The rain, the sun, the hunger. It was too much. Trần Ngôn shook his head, his expression turning serious. "I don't think those planes are from the crew." "Then whose are they? You got a screw loose?" Hua Zhaodian mocked. Trần Ngôn replied calmly, "They're regular planes, not helicopters. This island has no runway. Where would they land? Even a kid would know that." "Huh?" Hua Zhaodian looked stunned. The chat exploded. "Isn't that basic knowledge? Wang Lui must be stressed. Trần Ngôn handled that better than Hua." Wait, could this be unscripted? Did they trick the cast into thinking there was a script? It's getting real. At the broadcast headquarters, Director Niu got a call. "What? Viewership is spiking?" "Yes, sir. Don't worry, we'll keep this under control." "If they get upset about the lack of a script?" "Yes, I'll handle it." Reassured, Director Niu felt renewed confidence. Back on the island, everyone stared as smoke began trailing from one of the planes. "Why is it smoking?" Dila exclaimed. Suddenly, one of the planes exploded mid-air. The other disappeared over the horizon. Everyone froze. "Is this a special effect?" Loc Dung asked. "That looked like a missile," Zhang Xitan said. Trần Ngôn narrowed his eyes. "South America isn't always peaceful. That looked like an air battle." He quickly explained that 2 nearby nations were often at odds. Skirmishes weren't uncommon. "This show is going to get me killed," Wang Lui panicked. "I'm done. I want out," Hua Zhaodian shouted. Jiang Feixian calmly said, "If another plane enters now, it might be seen as a provocation." Everyone turned to Wang Lui, the supposed master of prediction. Trần Ngôn rolled his eyes. What kind of master can't even do basic math? Trần Ngôn sat on the beach, scribbling calculations. Though most knowledge had faded after graduation, this stuff was still easy for him. Jiang Feixian wandered over. "You know how to solve this?" Trần Ngôn smirked. "Just high school math." "Don't tell me the genius musician can't handle it." She blushed. "I studied music abroad. We didn't do math like this." Soon, Trần Ngôn had solved 3 equations. If correct, the coordinates would reveal the treasure boxes. Meanwhile, Wang Lui gave up. "Too tricky. Even I can't crack it." So what now? I'm starving, Hua Zhaoqin whined. If Wang Lui can't do it, nobody can, Lock Dung added. Then a cheer rang out. Tran Ngôn solved it, Jiang Feixian called. Everyone rushed over. No way, he's faking it, Jiang Tao sneered. Yeah, bluffing is his thing, Hua mocked. Tran Ngôn ignored them. He marked 3 points on the map. These are the treasure boxes. Let's go before the weather turns. The chat lit up. Wait, he solved it? No way, he's just acting. Actually, his answers check out. Did we misjudge Tran Ngôn? Is he the real genius here? At HQ, Director Niu nearly jumped from his chair. Ratings were through the roof. Get more close-ups of Tran Ngôn. He's gold. The guests had no choice but to follow Tran Ngôn's map. Thankfully, the boxes weren't far. They brought them back, shouting with excitement. Starving, they quickly opened them. Box 1, knives, rope, fire starters. Box 2, musical instruments, because it's still a show. Box 3, food, but barely enough, just over a dozen cans and some utensils. This won't feed anyone, Hua complained. Barely 2 cans each, Wang Lui muttered. I need at least 2, Lock Dung said, grabbing them protectively. The women looked disgusted. Tran Ngôn stepped forward. There are 14 cans, 1 per man, 2 per woman. It's still not enough. I saw feathers, maybe wild chickens. Let's catch them and cook stew, agreed? Hearing Tran Ngôn's suggestion, the 9 remaining guests paused for a moment, then nodded in agreement. The day was already fading, and more rain was on the horizon. No one knew when the production team would return, and surviving on just a few cans of food was out of the question. The show had hinted earlier that, to ensure enough game on the island, local staff had released wild chickens into the forest. The 10 contestants split into 3 groups, starting from the beach and heading out in different directions to hunt. But what really stirred the livestream audience was Tran Ngôn's calm and capable demeanor. Is this really the same Tran Ngôn I've known? Where did the show find a Tran Ngôn look-alike? No way, he definitely got a secret script. They're trying to whitewash his image for clout. Yeah, right. If Tran Ngôn is suddenly this smart, I'll eat grass upside down. More comments poured in. Other people act abstract. Tran Ngôn is abstract in real life. Every time this guy trends, it's because of some new train wreck moment. He once trended just for a clip of him playing basketball in overalls. The internet's never let him live that down. It was true. Every appearance he made broke records. Not for excellence, but for public ridicule. His awkward phrasing, bizarre behavior, and clueless remarks had made him a laughingstock across the industry. And yet, here he was, on the very first day on a deserted island, calm, composed, and surprisingly competent. Up front, Tran Ngôn walked with his hands clasped behind his back, already thinking of strategies to catch more chickens. Not far behind followed Li Mat and Jiang Feixian, walking at a relaxed pace. Wang Lui, however, was clearly irritated. He had carefully planned the teams, splitting the 10 guests into 3 groups, with the sole intention of excluding Tran Ngôn. He deliberately picked the 2 most attractive female contestants, Li Mat and Jiang Feixian, for his group, figuring a deserted island was the perfect backdrop to get close and maybe cop a feel under the guise of teamwork. But somehow both women insisted on having Tran Ngôn in their group. Even when Wang Lui suggested a different direction, Tran Ngôn firmly refused, and the 2 women, remembering how he calmly led during the rainstorm, chose to follow him instead. Even without the moonlight, I'll still wait for you to come back. Tran Ngôn hummed a melody as he brushed away branches heavy with wild forest berries. Li Mat widened her eyes in surprise. Whose song is that? I don't think I've heard it before. In this world, without Jay Chu, many iconic songs had never been released. Smiling, Tran Ngôn replied, I just made it up. Doesn't even have a title yet. You wrote it yourself? Lee Mat looked shocked. Wasn't Tran Ngôn known as the tone-deaf king? And yet, even to an outsider like her, there was something deeply moving hidden within the song. Don't give up, Tran Ngôn, she said earnestly. If music doesn't work out, you could totally try comedy. You've got that natural, funny bone. No one does ridiculous like you. Vuong Lui let out a loud, self-satisfied laugh. If your work doesn't get famous, then it's worthless. Stop pretending it's deep. As if on cue, the live stream chat exploded again. Nice voice, but way too showy. There's no way he wrote that. Probably stole it just to impress the girls. Classic Tran Ngôn. Steal a song and act like it's yours. Shameless. Jiang Fei Xian's standing right there. Isn't he afraid she'll call him out for plagiarism? I'm waiting for her to expose him. This guy's got guts. I'll give him that. Tran Ngôn needs to get the hell out of the industry. Despite the nasty backlash, Tran Ngôn remained blissfully unaware. And even if he knew, he probably wouldn't have cared. He had survived the brutal entertainment industry in a past life. His skin was thick, his patience thinner. Turning to face Vuong Lui, he gave a lazy smile. You don't understand me, and that's okay. Trying to explain it would only confuse you more. What's that supposed to mean? Vuong Lui snapped. If you can't understand my words, how could you ever understand my music? Tran Ngôn replied, casually brushing away more weeds from the trail. You, Vuong Lui pointed at him, shaking with anger but unable to find a proper rebuttal. But Tran Ngôn didn't bother with him anymore. He had more important things to do. Catching chickens was just step one. He also wanted to explore more of the island. What a clown. Disrespecting Master Vuong like that. Has Tran Ngôn ever even been nominated for an award? He's got no right to act high and mighty. Honestly, watching Vuong Lui get flustered is kind of satisfying. His holier-than-thou attitude annoys me. First day and people are already trying to whitewash Tran Ngôn? What a joke. He sings one decent song and you're all drooling? Grow up. Meanwhile, Vuong Lui fumed quietly. For the first time since his rise to fame, a junior had disrespected him so openly. His fists clenched, knuckles cracking audibly. Fine, he muttered. I was willing to cut you some slack because you're young. But don't blame me when I stop holding back. Lee Mat hadn't expected her innocent question to spark such conflict. She rushed to intervene. Please, Master Vuong, don't be mad at Tran Ngôn. He probably didn't mean it. His EQ is just low. She turned to Tran Ngôn and whispered, apologize. Please, do it for me. But Tran Ngôn only gave her a sideways glance. Why should he apologize? After this show, he was cashing his check and leaving the industry. There was no point in enduring this crap, not even for a pretty face. Seeing she couldn't convince him, Lee Mat tugged on Jiang Fei Hian's sleeve. Fei Fei, can you say something? Talk some sense into him. But she failed to notice the thoughtful look in Jiang Fei Hian's eyes. She hadn't said a word. But in her heart, she was stunned. Unlike the live stream audience, unlike Lee Mat and Vuong Lui, she knew music. And the song Tran Ngôn had just hummed, it wasn't just good. It was phenomenal. It had the potential to top global charts. If this song had existed online, it would have gone viral already. But she'd never heard it before. Not the lyrics, not the melody. Which meant Tran Ngôn really had composed it himself. She looked at him again, this time with new eyes, as he casually picked berries along the trail. Found it, he suddenly said. The others turned toward him. His eyes sparkled. You found it? Lee Mott asked excitedly. Vuong Lui looked unimpressed, but his gaze didn't leave Trần Ngôn. Kid's an idiot, but he's got a knack for finding things. Lee Mott blushed and leaned in. You really found something? Even Jiang Fi Hien was intrigued. Under their watchful eyes, Trần Ngôn took a bite of a wild fruit. A little sour, he mumbled, but good enough to fill your stomach. We can gather some and take them back. Good emergency food if we can't find anything else. Vuong Lui's face fell. He thought it was a wild chicken, but it was just fruit. When Lee Matt reached out to pick one, Vuong Lui quickly grabbed her wrist. Matt, you can't just eat wild fruit off a deserted island, he warned gravely. This isn't a farm. That could be poisonous. His fingers lingered on her soft skin as he turned to Trần Ngôn, who was munching on a second berry. We're here to film a show, not to mess around. Just because he says it's edible doesn't mean it is. The guy's reckless, he went on scolding, not holding back in the slightest, like Trần Ngôn wasn't even present